Oh. Hello, everybody. This is Marshall Burnham, and I am here today to show you how I finished up this little guy. I got him this far, but I do not have him ready to do all the detail. I have this one ready to do some more detail on him. I'm trying to adjust the light, guys, and watch it in my computer. I think it's a little better. One more adjust. Okay, there we go. Now I don't hope the darn thing doesn't fall off of the little stand. Anyway, so today we're working on this little guy, and I have got this one. This is the one I started in the class the other night. And I know I was really blurry. I'm hoping today is much better. Hope everything looks good. I know I'm still upside down with my hands, but I'm working on that. So it's just every day is a new day, guys. So we're going to continue on with this. So this is paint sticks. And I have this one to the point where I've got the little packages done. I've got the candy canes are done. I have all of it done except some, I want to decorate these little packages. And I want to make and show you how you can make these just a little bit brighter, those little ornaments on the wreath. So I am going to change to the other one and start showing you about it, okay? And I'm going to try to stay in the middle of the screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to switch. All right. So this one is where I was at the other night when I quit. I had the tree base coated in. And so I got it, or had the green, old sap green on this. I got this on earlier today. So now we're going to continue on working on this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm moving the palette in here a little bit closer so you can see how it looks when you put the paint out, put the paint stick out, and then we pick up a brush and bring it to the piece. The piece has been base coated with dog colony soft brown, antiqued with my antiquing that I make. It has been wiped back off. It has been let set to dry for a while, sprayed with porcelain spray, and then the paint sticks have been put on top of the antiquing and the base coat. Okay? So what we're going to work on is I'm going to show you how to do this little wreath. Now, like I said, on the tree, it has old sap green. So what I'm going to use for the wreath itself, I'm going to use phthalo green, which is a brighter green. So when I put my color out, I just scribble it out like this. And I only put about that much out at a time because there's no need of putting out a whole bunch because this wreath really isn't all that big. So then I pick a brush that I want to use in that size of a space. These brushes are also a brush that it's stubby Taklon, and the brush is, I have the brushes made from Zim brushes, and they're made so that they will be able to be used with the paint sticks. You don't want a long-haired Taklon brush because it flips too much and it's too soft, and you can't scrub it down into the detail of the piece. So when I pick it up, I pick my color up, I just make sure I load my brush really good, and then I come in here and lay in the color. And you just kind of put it on like you would, almost like a dry brush, but not completely. You just put it on, and I always like, after a while, your brushes get kind of fuzzy on the end, and that's just something you can't help because it's just wear and tear and using them too much. And so after a little while, you have to have a new brush. Oh, darn, you have to buy more brushes. That cracks me up because I'm a brush hoarder like nobody's business. Anyway, so you always want to try to use your brushes that, like if you have to get up against something like right here where I'm getting up, I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll pick it up and put it up closer to the camera. When you have to get up next to something like this, where you've had the other color already in. Now see what I'm doing is I'm going around that little ornament that's in here right here. I'm going around that because other colors will cover over the top. As you well should know, going light over dark is really tricky, but it will eventually happen and take quite a few coats. But if you have someplace you want, for instance, if I want to use pink in there, I don't want this dark green all over it because I've already got that mess to show you on the other one. I got just a little bit carried away and got my brush in the green when it wasn't quite dry. So it kind of made a mess. But anyway, so what you want to do is just paint up to where you're going to right here and then like in here, you want to get this down in. You want color on all the pieces at all the places. Now see, I do have some green, again, kind of hard to see, but there's some green I got on this. So what you can do is if you have a paper towel handy, you could just kind of wipe that back off when you catch it and you see it. Wipe that back off, and then it won't be quite as hard to cover it up. So what I'll need to think about when I'm putting on the little ornaments here, I'm going to need to think about using a darker color, like a dark blue would work, okay? So I'm painting all of this little wreath, get it all covered up. And like I said, see how far I went? I went almost halfway around this little wreath with just one load of brush. I mean, not one load. Sorry. I'm sorry. Not one load. I loaded a couple times because that's what you want to do. You want to keep your brush loaded with color. But I had just a little bit bigger than an old 50-cent piece size of color out here. I didn't need to cover my whole palette with color because it doesn't take that much color to go a long ways, because this is an oil-based paint, guys. It's an oil-based paint with a self-sealer in it. I think I talked about that a little bit the other day, just as a refresher. It has a self-sealer in it. If you let this go and don't spray it, it will set up and dry in 24 to 48 hours on its own. But you spray it with porcelain spray, the porcelain spray sets the oil, and then you can keep working on it. After you let it set a little while and the spray is dried, then you can keep working on it. Again, I'm talking and not paying attention here very well. So what I do a lot of times too is I'll take one of my older brushes that, or just doesn't matter. Just this one, see, it's kind of fuzzed out on the end. I take this older brush and I use it, and I'll go in there and pick up that color off that ornament, and then I go wipe it off on a paper towel. So it's not completely covered with that green. Okay. So I'm just going to keep talking and painting. That's what I do. So I'm getting this all covered up. And then when I have this part, and see, I'm going to go back and get a little bit more. It doesn't take much. Oops, got in the wrong stick. I knew I was going to do that. And I just put that over the top. I'm going to just make a new spot right there. So I don't, because I had old sap mixed in there. I'm just going to move over on my palette, and then I won't have, because the old sap is such a dark green. That's what's on your tree. I didn't want them to be the same. And there are a lot of colors in this product line. And of course, I want to try to use them all. And I have used most of them a lot of times. I just catch myself being, I just keep myself using the same color over and over again because I have my favorites. I do that in every paint line. So I see some people that are jumping on here. I see that I got my girlfriend Deb from over on the other side of Oregon. I got Laura, and I got Brenda, and I got Kathy. And it's good to see you all on here. I'm glad you're jumping in and watching me do this. Like I said, this paint stick technique was developed by a woman a long time ago. I feel like it's a long time ago. It's pushing 40 years ago. And she was a little bit ahead of her time when she decided to do some of this, because they originally made the paint sticks up to be in the clothing line and be on the wearable art. Well, the wearable art people didn't catch on to doing this till about 10 years ago. They got real crazy with this whole thing. But Pat, the lady that taught me how to do this, she jumped onto it to do it on ceramics. And she's the one that came up with this technique. And like I said, I don't know if anybody was watching last week or not, but Pat and I have been friends since the first time I took class with her. And she told me, she saw me not too long ago. She's getting up there in her years. And she told me, she says, I'm so excited that you're continuing this on. And we've been through a lot of challenges and a lot of trials and tribulations, because for a while we couldn't get the product. But anyway, this is now my technique. And you can buy your paint sticks in a lot of places, but you can, when you get to talking to them, they have no clue what you're talking about when you do it on ceramics. So there's just a little hint right there as to being able to have help with where you need to go. Since I had that sap green out there, I have a little goober on my tree. Okay, so I have that wreath covered. Alrighty. So now I'm going to go over on the other side because I try to paint. Now, don't put your hands in there. You can see my hands. I've been paint sticking today, and my hands are a mess because that is still very wet due to having the porcelain or having the fresh paint on there. Actually, what I'll do, instead of skipping over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this back around. I know it's upside down to you, but it's right side up to me. Okay, I'll turn it this way. I'm going to put a color on this bow because I'm going to do something I don't normally do because we're on video and I don't want to take all day to do this piece. I'm going to put the bow color on here, and then I'm going to give this a little shot of spray right here so I can continue working on the other side so you guys can see some other colors, how they go on. Okay, one of my favorite colors, one of my most favorite colors, it's called iridescent sapphire. This is one of my favorite ones. There is about, I'm trying to think, let me count real quick in my head, about 15 iridescent colors, and they are to die for. I just love them. And so I'm going to put out the iridescent sapphire. Isn't that a pretty color? Just love that color. Anyway, so I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to get that brush filled up and I'm going to put this on. And iridescents go on so nice. I'm not saying the other colors don't go on nice, but once in a while you get one that's kind of a stinker and you can't get it on because it just doesn't want to work right. It's just kind of a, I'll tell you who the biggest pain in the keister is, and that is burnt umber. Now watch. I don't know if you saw that or not, but I had a little bit of green over on that bow, and I went right over it with that purpley blue that I'm using, and it covered it right up. Sometimes I don't know for sure if it covers it up or if you kind of pick it up and they kind of blend together, but it always works. It always covers up. Like I said, when we get around to this candy cane, we got to talk about that because I am an ace for turning something that's supposed to be next, red and white next to each other. You know, it makes pink real fast. And there's a lot of times I'll have like a pink stripe on my candy cane that you got to work at to cover that up. So see how fast that iridescence going on? Iridescents are just made a little bit different enough that they are so nice and smooth and easy to put on. They're just real fun to work with. So see, it's not taking me long to put this on. And at Christmas time, I use the heck out of my paint sticks. I'm telling you what, these paint sticks get a workout come Christmas time. This is one of my funnest way to do Santa Clauses, to do the bellies of the snowmen, to do, I just love to detail everything because, and then a lot of times when you see a snowman or a Santa Claus that's got a scene on his belly that's been done in a certain way, you can 9 times out of 10 tell that I'm the one that did it because they all, when you're using these oils, they blend so nicely together. They're super, super easy to use. And you don't have a bunch of waste. You don't have a bunch of waste. You don't have a bunch of time-consuming blotting off color. You can change the color of your piece if you wanted to. I showed that last week, how you can take a paper towel and wipe it back and change the color a little bit. But 9 times out of 10, I just do straight on. Here we go. This is it, you know. There was another person that was involved in teaching some paint sticks out there on the road for a while, and she wanted to use a thinner with them all the time. Well, I don't see the need for a thinner because look, that's one coat, people, right there. That's, I don't know. I can't get it in the camera right. I'll just hold still. Maybe you can see it. One coat and I'm done. One and done. As long as I don't stick my finger in it. That's what I'm good at. Okay. So there's no reason for the thinner to be used. I'm going to show you in a little while. We're going to cheat and I'm going to show you a little bit what you can do with a thinner, which is fun, but there's no need to use the thinner. Okay. Ready? So like I said, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to turn around here. I'm going to shake the can up a little bit because it's been a little while since I used it today. I'm going to turn around, give this area a shot, and then I'm going to try to stay out of it when I'm doing the other side. All right? Hang on one second. Porcelain spray. We'll have a little chat about that while I'm shaking the can. porcelain spray. Everybody used to have porcelain spray. Not so much anymore. Okay, hang on. All right. So I've just given that a quick spray real quick. Okay. So a lot of places have gotten rid of it just because it doesn't sell much and it doesn't people don't really realize what the use for it is. But Duncan has reformulated. I don't know if they've reformulated. I don't know what they've done. I don't know that much about what they've done. I just know that they have done some things to keep it out there on the market. So when you're doing spraying and you need porcelain spray, now I called today and talked to somebody, actually talked to Marilyn Glaser of Glaser Ceramic Supply. They do supply a lot of the things. I buy a lot of my supplies from them because we do a lot of shows together, and Marilyn's a good one to go to find out what we need to do. I contacted Marilyn today because since this has been changed and the Duncan verbiage has been changed on their cans, I forget who's which one. So Marilyn gave me the 4-in-1 on what to do here. Porcelain spray now is SS342 matte. And I used it out on the road when I was back east in Florida and in Georgia. We used it in class and it was amazing. It worked so nice. I was very impressed with it. So it is what you can use for your porcelain spray. Okay? All righty. So there's that sales pitch. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to show you about working with this candy cane. I'm just scoop my palette up a little bit so I color out here. One of my favorite reds to use, and I know my paint sticks always look like, you know what, because I use them all the time. My favorite red in the color line is called Tompate Red. I use it on the snowman, or not snowman. I do it on snowmen. Yes, I do. But I also use them on Santa Clauses all the time. So Tompate Red is a redder Christmas red than the other reds that are in the line. There's a Naphthol red and an alizarin crimson, which I'm going to use alizarin crimson pretty soon on one of the packages. But this Tompate red is an amazing red for Santa coats, things you want red. Okay. So again, changing brushes again. I always keep a brush for each color. I never wash them out. I don't put them in any kind of cleaner between times because I may need it again. I may need to do that again sometime. Okay. So here is the beginning of, where am I at? Okay. Sorry. Here is the beginning of the candy cane. I'm going to put the red stripes on and then I'm going to come back in. I'll spray again. Oh, I'm probably messing up. See, I've already messed up a little bit, but that's all right. This is just to show you how to, guys. Okay. So there I'm going. See, look at that. One coat of red. If you have that brush loaded up, one coat of red. No need to put 2, 3, 10, 20, however many coats it takes you. That's part of why my students, when I learned how to do this, I had actually picked up from a supplier at the show that year about 4 sets of chalks because my students all wanted them. But at the same time, I had discovered Miss Pat and I had discovered paint sticks and I bought bisque and I bought brushes and I bought everything I could that night. And we were staying in a camper and I went out and painted half the night with just the paint sticks I bought, went back in the next day and bought them all the ones they had at that time, which was a very small line. Now it's much larger. There were no iridescents. And when I got back home, I showed my students how to do paint sticks, and I never did. I sold those chalks to a person looking for extra chalks. My students never went back to chalk. They just fought the chalk. They didn't like it. And I'm not bashing on chalks. Don't get me wrong. People can do an amazing job with chalks as well. But my students didn't like the chalk dust going over onto other things. And they didn't like having to use a whole bunch of coats to get the color to be vibrant. See, right there it is, guys. There's one coat of red. Okay. So I'm going to go down here. I know I'm twisting around. I'm upside down and backwards to everybody probably, but I just put my hand in the dang wet paint We'll be doing some touch-ups. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more red out, and then I'll continue on with the stripes of this candy cane. Okay. And I had one of the students that could do chalk amazingly. She fought it because she could never get, like, if she wanted a Wedgwood blue, like a pale blue on something, she never could get it to work. And she picked up paint sticks and she made about 4 or 5 of the most beautiful nativity sets you ever saw. And she did them just exactly like what I'm doing right now. She base coated them in a tan, antiqued them in a dark brown, and detailed those nativity sets. They were to die for. I think she made everybody in her family a nativity set. Now, if you get some of your color, if you get some of that red up on that green that you don't want to be green, okay, that's why you never wash out your brush, see? You're going to take that green brush and you just come along here and just go right over the top of it, okay? Just take a little minute to correct your mistake. Now I'm going to come back in here and put another coat, another red stripe on here. And I'm just about done. Well, I'm not going to be done with candy canes, but I'm getting close. Because, again, I'm going to cheat and I'm going to spray in my shop. So tomorrow I'll be hiring a kite, right? No, not really. This stuff kind of grows on you, the smell of stuff. But see, this brush, with this stubby little brush, you can lay that on. And that's why when you get through at the end of the day, you to wash your brush out good with a no sealer. Where did that come from? A brush cleaner that you can, that's for oils, to get the oil out of the brush, and then go wash them, because you want these to stay soft, because you want to be able to lay this color on it and not have streaks in it. And if we used to use a stiffer bristled brush when we very first started doing this, but we were using more like what you use for a dry brush, those stiff hog bristle brushes. And as it went along, those bristles were really, really stiff. Pat used to have somebody make her special brushes out of a softer white bristle, and they worked great. But eventually that kind of didn't work out so good. So I changed. And the reason I changed, kind of funny thing, what made me change to using the brushes I use now is I used to take a lot of toll painting classes, and we were painting on saws, on metal saw blades, and the brush we used for that had to be a little bit stiff. So one day, just for, giggles, I got it out, got my brushes I used for on my saw blades, got them out and used them with my paint sticks, and I was sold. I loved them. Okay, so I'm going to do, sorry, I keep flipping it around, and I know that, here I go. Okay, I'm going to give this a quick spray, and then we'll get on to some of the packages, okay? Because you really want to let that red dry before you put that white next door, because you're going to get pink. And probably, the way I'm kind of hurrying through this, we're going to get pink today. Probably. I can almost bet on it. Okay. So see, there we go. Hello. I'm not doing very good days, but I'm hoping I'm more focused today in your pictures, and I'm hoping it's working better. I hope you're seeing a better picture than we had last week. That was bad. I felt so bad about that, guys. When I watched that at the end of the day, I thought, oh, what was I thinking? I didn't know what I was doing. And come to find out, it was not my camera. I was going to go down there because a friend of mine told me he thought it was my camera. I talked to my internet guy. It was my internet connection. So we got on that. He told me how to fix it. Okay. So when we do the packages on this piece, I just randomly go through my colors and start doing different colors. I just go through and pick out, like, let's see, out of the clear blue, let's pick, I don't know. Let's pick, I know. I got it. I want iridescent blue. That's another one of my favorites. All of them are my favorites. So here's some iridescent blue. Okay. And what I try to do, and it's just me and it's just how I operate, is I try not to put things together that are real close in the same color, in the same color family. But today I'm going to use this on this one. I'm going to use the dark blue over here because I can see where I slopped over by my top painting. I slopped over some of the green from the wreath. So again, different brush that fits the size, fits the shape, has a nice edge. And I'm going to come in here and see that iridescent. Man, it likes to do this. That iridescent's easy to use, guys. And look at my nice clean thumb. See right here? That's cute, isn't it? That's my paint stick thumb. I had all my paints already peeled off. We talked about that too. I can talk about it again. When you start at the beginning of the day or the beginning of the time you're going to do your paint sticks, the paint stick has a dryer in it, a self-sealer in it, and it will get a film over the end of the stick. So to get it to work and to get it to come on your palette, you'd always want to break that seal. That's the only waste you have right here on my palette right here. I don't know if you can see that little chunk I picked up. That's some of that sealer. I always I'm going to pick it up, put it over here on my paper towel. Okay, got rid of it. But that is the only waste you have a paint stick. You can use a paint stick down to the point where you're just barely got anything to hang on to rub it onto your palette. These paint sticks go a long ways. So right there you go. There's a blue package. Okay, so I'm going to switch, and the other red that I was talking about, I wanted to show you that. So what I'm talking about, peeling the end off, I've already done this, but I'm going to show you again. I'm going to pull off a paper towel. Okay, so pretend like this hasn't been used today. And what you do is you just rub the end. And what I do is I use this thumbnail to go in and just kind of peel that back. And so if I've been doing a lot of paint sticks, really pretty thumb. And that's how you start it. You have you have no waste. See, I'll come back with that paper towel. See, there's a little bit of that sealer right there. That's what's around the edge and over the top. Okay, so I'm going to get it out of the way. I'm going to put this color out here. This is the alizarin crimson, very pretty dark red. Back in the day, this was one of the best reds for the Santas. And as paint sticks went along, they just kept coming out with more and more colors. And of course, they'd come up with that Tombote red. Man, I jumped right on that one, let me tell you. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up, and then I'm going to do this package right here. It's a really pretty red. It's a deep crimson red. So when you're doing Christmas stuff, or wintry stuff, or I don't know, even flowers, even if you're painting flowers, you have the ability to shade, just like this is an oil paint, guys. You can shade this and have that darker color to make things pop, and then you can put that Tombote red on top of that. Like if you were doing petals on the flowers, you could do your back petals in this crimson, and then do the upper petals on top in the Tombote red, and it's gorgeous. It's very, very pretty. And like I said, I'm trying very hard to get it smooth. And this soft brush lets me have that ability to get it smooth. So, see, there you go. So see, you just want to get one good color it takes. That's all it takes. Sometimes it takes a little practice. Some people get a hold of me and say afterwards, "Oh, I can't get the colors you did." Okay, first off, it's just like anything else. You got to practice. And second off, be sure you always have, the very first thing you really need to do, remember to load that brush. Don't be afraid to put some product on that brush. And don't stretch it too far. If you try to stretch it and go a long ways with this, you're going to have a crazy mess. You're going to have a crazy, streaky, what you don't want to do, right? Okay? All right. So I don't know that you want to sit and watch me paint all these crazy packages because I have them done on the other one, but I am going to go back and show you about these little ornaments I have in here. So what I have in my brushes that I like to use, that again, I'm going to give that Mr. Zen brush guy a little pitch here. I use the number 2. I have a little number 2, and I really never have been a round brush person for paint sticks. I've always used what I used to call was a square brush. They call them a flat. That's always what I've used. I just never have been a round brush person. Don't know why. In paint sticks, I use it for a lot of other things, but not in paint sticks. Just been my thing, you know? So I'm going to give you another color out here. I'm going to give you grape. Nope, lied. I lied. I grabbed magenta. I love magenta too. So I'm going to get this magenta. I've got it out here. It's kind of a bright, hot pink. It's an iridescent. And I'm going to pick that color up in that little number 2 brush. And I'm going to just put it right on that little ornament. See how pretty that pink shows up on that? And I had just a little too much. So guys, I just went over to the side and wiped it out on a paper towel. So what I do, so I don't make myself crazy, I do each ornament a different color on this little wreath. I'm going to do like two ornaments in each color. So see right there. So when I was, and then I'm changing brushes, guys. I'm going to change to another brush. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, I have a wad of brushes like nobody's ever seen. So I was talking about earlier when you get the green. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this little ornament right there has got green on it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come back in here. I've got a new different brush that I'm going to use, and I'm going to pick up that dark blue because it will cover up. See, look how nice that covered that up. I know we sprayed it, so it set it a little bit. So see? So now I can move over here and put a blue one over here by the tree. So it's away. But I just remembered something, guys. I jumped ahead of myself. What I did on this other one to make this, see, I don't know if you can see it or not, to make this, got to go the right way, to make that, it's hard to see in this lighting. It's also hard to see on camera. But to make that wreath pop with color and be different than the tree, even though you've got a different green, what I did is I took my Asia yellow, which is a bright, bright yellow, and put it out here on my palette. Took another little brush, not a little one. I used a number 4 brush, picked up the yellow, wiped it out just a little bit because it's bright. And I just came in here on this wreath, and then I went across, just like you would for dry brushing, went across the texture and gave it a highlight. I don't know if it's coming to life on there or not. I can't see it on the camera. But see, and then I wipe it out, wipe your brush out, because that green is pretty powerful, and green can stay wet for even after you've sprayed it. It'll stay wet for a little while. Go wipe that brush out because you're getting green in your brush. And I just went through and I kind of highlighted it because I don't know if you've paid attention. When you start painting and do the kind of painting I do a lot, I pay attention to everything. Flowers, wreaths, evergreens, horses, dogs, cats, anything. I pay attention to everything. And I look at it and think, how did they get that color to stand up? How does that work? And if you think about it, when you get an evergreen wreath at Christmas time, the outer part of you, if you look at your evergreen, it's got a little bit of a yellow cast to it. So having that yellow on there kind of helps it a little bit. And I really like how it pops out that color. Okay. So brushing it across like this, brushing it across that detail. I got it up on my tree. Dadgummit. I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to take my brush and I get that yellow out of that Christmas tree because I don't want it in there. So I'm going to just highlight that, and it just makes it brighten up and pop, 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 pop. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So I got to go wipe my brush again because I'm making kind of a jazzy lime green now, this whole mess I'm making, but that's not really what I want. Okay. So now that I've remembered to do that, we can go back to painting ornaments. So let me see. Oh, let's do a turquoise. I got turquoise right here. I love this one too. This is a good turquoise. That's good hummingbird colors too. Anyway, Another little tiny brush. I got all kinds of little tiny brushes. Okay. So I'm going to get this turquoise on this brush, and I'm going to, again, do about 2 ornaments. Just then you don't have to try to think up all kinds of color. Okay. And then this is the kind of sad thing in the iridescent line is the red that they made has a bronze cast to it, or a brassy look to it. I think it was them trying to make the red. So instead of doing a kind of a decent red, a lot of times I'll pop back in and use just the Tempete red because it's such a good red. And then if you wanted it to have that iridescent look when you were all done, there's a white iridescent stick that you could come back over the top of it so you got that little shine. And it's very transparent. You can see right through that white. So, let's see, this one's not covering up quite so good because I had some green on there. But that's all right. It's all right. It's buried down in that wreath. Okay? What have I got? I got 2 little ornaments left. That's all. What color should we do? Oh, no. Oh, we'll do gold. There's a iridescent gold color right here. We can do it. All right. I'm telling you, when you're sitting here looking at a whole 4 or 5 boxes of color, you just kind of go crazy after a while. Okay. So see? All right, guys. There you go. Wreath's done. Wreath's done. Okay, turn it around. Sorry, I forget I'm upside down. Okay, okay. So the bow is done, the wreath is done, the wreath's been highlighted, and the little ornaments are done. Okay? So I'm going to turn back around. Oh, no, let's spray it. Now, see, I'm going to spray that because I'm done. I'm still going to just porcelain spray it just a little bit just to let that set and get dry while I try not to stick my hand in it. Okay, so turning it around. I was going to show you, this ought to be fun because I know it hasn't had time to dry much. In the grand scheme of things, you should be letting this red dry a little while, but I want to show you if I make pink, how you can fix that. And white, sometimes when you put it out on your palette, you kind of lose it. You kind of lose where it's at, the white. And then I'm an ace for putting my hand in that too. Okay, so, all right, so here's the white. Excuse me. So here is the white going on here. And again, I've got a nice soft brush that's been cleaned out good. And I'm getting the white on the red as per usual. Just it's me. But this is also a good thing to show you as to how to get yourself out of this. Okay. So I'm putting the white down into that area of that candy cane. So see, there it is. Now, go back and get your red brush. Go get your red brush. Clean up that edge. Clean up that edge. Get down in there where you got it onto your red you didn't want. And then you can come along here and clean it up and straighten that up. And you don't have to have a jazzy little detail brush. Just work it easy. Now, I did get a little bit of red on my white. And so I'm going to take my white brush and I'm just going to pick it up. Hey, look there. I did pretty good. Didn't make pink today. Day's not over, though. Okay, and so see, I got down there. There's where the pink will come in. I had red on that spot before I started. But see how easy it is to get. And I am not having to change and go to any detail brush. I just wipe the red out. If I think I've got red in that brush, I just go back in and wipe that brush off and make sure that you've got it all good and coated. Now I'm going to lay that brush down and I'm going to go back in and I'm going to clean that up. And I got white on my red over here. So I don't want that there. And I'm going to put this red down in there next to that bow. And I'm going to get that cleaned out down in there. Clean it down inside there. And then, see, there's some white on the tree. And eventually, when I'm all done with this, I'm going to put some non-fired sparkly snow on there anyway, but I just cleaned it up. See, there you go. So it's really easy to use. Paint sticks are really easy, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of them. They're fun to do. So and then what I did on this one, instead of, I'm not going to go ahead and do all the candy cane right this minute, unless you really feel the need that I need to do that. I don't know that. I don't want to bore people with what I'm doing, because I can just sit here and paint and not even say a word. You guys probably wonder where the heck I'm at if I'm even here, because I get to painting and I'm a happy person. What I did do on the other one, I used what I call the crazy green, because there's three greens in the iridescent colors. It's just called green, and it's kind of bright and wild. Then there's a leaf green that's a little more mellow, and then there's a lime green. The sad thing with the lime green is it goes on kind of yellowy, so sometimes you got to be kind of careful where you put that. So I'm going to back the palette up a little bit. I'm going to put the green out, get another brush, of course, and then this is the green I'm going to use, because I just thought this was a jazzy green on these red and white candy canes. I may have to go in and put a white stripe on so you can just see how pretty this is on this. There's not really very much white on that second candy cane. Okay. You can turn it any which direction you want to get your brush down in there. It's not going to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything about worrying about wiping it off or taking it out of the center or whatever. And see, now this, button it up against this, it just goes right up against this, and I've got a nice edge on this brush, so I can just run it along that edge, and there it is. Okay. So this is a really nice green on here. I really like it. So it looks really good on this red and white. So I'm not going to finish that right now. Put in, I lost my white brush. That's the trick. When you get to doing paint sticks, you got to figure out where did I put my brush? That's not it. Oh, it might have been. Let's put out some more white. And pick up the white. And then I'm going to put that, see, this is really pretty up against this. Very Christmassy looking. Okay. So just wanted you to see how pretty that is on that having that green bow on those red and white candy canes. It's really nice. Okay. So I'm going to finish putting this little stripe in here, and then we're going to talk about doing the detail. Because once you have all your color where you want it, everything's done, everything's colored the way you want it. Okay, we're going to put that up there. Got that green brush, and I'm going to come here and pick that up, kind of run it up against there. And then I'm going to get my red brush, and I'm going to straighten up that line. And I'm going to straighten up this line. And I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. Because me trying to see what I'm doing and have you can see what we're doing might get a little out of whack here. Okay, and then I got a little bit of red where I didn't want it. So I'm going to put that back in there. There we go. And what you can do now, see, I have a little bit of pink going on. What you can do, instead of fighting with it and keep going back and forth and make a mess, okay, let that, one more thing. Let me fix green. Let me fix my green. Oh, it's purple. Go in there and run that again. Get that out of there. Okay. If you're fighting with it and it's not doing what you want it to do, and you don't want to, you keep going back from red to white to pink to red. Don't do that, guys. It's gonna frustrate you to no end. Spray it, let it dry a while, and then come back and do it again, and it will help straighten it up. It's much easier to do that way than fight with it and keep messing with it. See, like me, I'll keep messing with it. But, okay? So you could spray that and just run it next to each other. Okay? Pretty easy schneezy. Pretty fun to do. So I'm going to spray this so this sets for a little while. Well, in a minute. Hang on. I'm going to take that right there. Okay? All right, now I'm going to spray this, and then we're going to talk about detailing these packages. Okay, so while that is drying, I'm going to set it aside, and then we're going to talk about these packages. Oh, crap, I hit it with the light. Oh, dear. All right. Okay, here we go. So this is the one that I'm all done with. Well, I'm done with putting the paint sticks on, okay? So, oops, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, I'm getting it in my paint. Sorry. So there it is. I'm good to go. All right. You could also have done some of this that I'm getting ready to show you how to do. You could do this detailing, the way I'm going to show you. You could do this and not use a little bitty brush. If you don't have good control and you don't think you like what it's doing, you could do it to what I'm going to show you. Okay. What I'm going to show you is have some of your cleaner or your thinner. I use the Turpenoid when I make my antiquing. I use a product called Turpenoid, okay? And it can be used as a paint thinner as well, all right? So what you're going to have one of your little bitty, tiny detail brushes. I don't know what to put it on for you guys to see it. I don't know if you can see it against my hand. There. See it? Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your little brush in this clean little Turpenoid cleaner over here. You can use it for brush cleaner. Brush cleaner, if it says brush cleaner on the can and you go to try to do some of this, it can kind of turn your color like a gooey kind of mess. So I always use the Turpenoid because it works better. But, okay, so what am I going to show you? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go in and, this is what I'm going to do. Take the Turpenoid. Don't have it real drippy, but come here and come into your colors. Can you see what I'm doing? You can see it or not. I am turning this blue paint back into a liquid oil. Okay? All righty? So I have a blue ornament on here that's not super blue, but I'm going to take it and lay it on here just like I see. Looky there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's coming to life. I don't know how to show you, guys. This is making me angry. I don't know which way to go. But what you have is I'm going to get it up there. You have a really nice blue ornament, and you've had control of it because you have taken this little brush, gotten liquid oil. It's just like taking out your acrylics, guys. It's like having your acrylics and you've got control. Okay, now I did 2 of those. I'm gonna think, what have I got on the package? Anyway, I know what I do. Not that color. Yeah, I could do it on this color. Let's do it on this gold one. Maybe it'll show up on the gold one. Okay. I'm going to take this. I'm going to get some more Turpenoid. I'm going to make liquid. And then what am I going to put on here? I think about this a little bit. Let's just do a little comma mark. I can do that. So like pretend like this is your kind of jazzy Christmas paper. And you're just going to make a comma mark. Look at there. Look at there. I got control of that. I'm not on the screen. Sorry. I'm on screen now. Okay. I'm just using that liquid little paint that I made out of that paint stick color. I don't know if you can see it at all. There it is. How am I going to get it? Is it blurry? There it is. I made little comb strokes, guys. All I did was take this fun little brush. I'm going to turn it up this way. I'm going to get some Turpenoid because I'm going to keep this liquid. And then I'm going to make this is my detection on this little package. I'm just making fun little comma strokes going all kinds of different directions. See? There you go. Jazzing up those packages. And then probably when I get done, I can go back in and maybe put a little bit of glitter on here. It'd be kind of fun. But I'm just making comma strokes go every which direction, like it was on my Christmas package. I bought that kind of wrapping paper. Okay, I'm gonna turn it clear around. There you go. All right. So that just kind of jazzed up that little package. Okay. So now I'm gonna rinse it in there, but I'm not gonna rub it around. I'm gonna take it over and wipe it out on my paper towel so I don't have it all over the place and I don't ruin my cleaner, having my clean cleaner. Okay. So, okay, here's a thought. I got it. Flying by the seat of my pants here right now. I'm going to put my white back out again. I've got more white. Okay. So I go into my cleaner and it might have been kind of dumb to do blue first. Or maybe I should have thought about having 2 clean brushes. That would have been a good idea. Okay. So I'm coming here and I'm going to come over here. I don't know if you can see it. And it's right here. Yeah, see, I got a pale blue. Oh, well, whatever. It is what it is. And I've turned this into a liquid. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put a dot down. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, heck, I'm off the package here. All right. I know I should have picked a bigger project. I made a little dot. Now I'm going to come in here and make a line, a dot, and then I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to do a dot and a line. Okay. I know I'm not doing this very good. I'm doing too fast. Got to slow down. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it again so I have it coming at me. Control my brush. I'm going to do a dot. I'm going to do a line. I'm going to do a dot. You know what I did, guys? I broke one of my rules. I should be turning it around. So I have control of my brush and a line. And I'm going to do a line all the way around. So guess what, guys? There's your little snowflake. But see what I'm doing? I'm turning this tree, so I'm always pulling it towards me. Because when you're doing brush work, you always want to turn it towards you so you have control of your brush. And this one's kind of messed up. I got to fix it. Let's make it a little wider. There we go. So I made that one wider. I got to make them all wider. Oh, I'm out. I'm sorry. Out of the screen. Sorry. I'm going all the way around and fixing them a little bit. So see, you can do your detail without having to have another product. See? There's your snowflake. Okay? And when you're all done, you can wipe out your brush good and want to clean this brush with soap and water as well. Okay? So that's just something else you can do with the paint sticks. And right there, where I made that a little bit bigger and I didn't like it, I can go get my Wedgwood blue color and go back and kind of skinny them back down because they are getting kind of wide. All right. So after I get through decorating all my packages and get through doing what I'm doing, I will spray it with matte spray and be done. That's when I'm finally done. Because I am just one who likes to protect the color. And if you're going to travel around or have it in a box or have it in and out of a box or whatever, you want to have protection on this. So you want to spray it good. And matte spray is a little tougher. So, and porcelain spray is a soft spray when you're done. I feel like. And if I'm going to have it in and out of a box, taking it to things, I want it to stay nice and I don't want to rub the color off. So when I'm all done, I'm going to matte spray it. And then I'm going to come back in here and put snow on the edges of these tree branches with the glitter snow, non-fire snow. So I hope that I taught you something about paint sticks. I hope I showed you a new look that you had never seen before. And I'm going to close this before I spill it because I've been on a spill thing this week. So what I am going to do is I will get this one finished up and I will get it all done. And put the little snow on there and get the little lights in the tree. We put lights in the holes in the tree for lights, and we put holes around in the wreath. And I'll put a little bit of snow inside that little section where that tree's behind that wreath, so it'll stand out more. So when I'm all done, again, that's all. And then I always matte spray, then do the snow with the glitter, and then do glitter of any kind that I want to put on anything. Because if you put the glitter on first and then try to matte spray it, your matte spray is going to dull your glitter. So you always want to do that glitter on the top of your finished product, guys. So I'm going to write this little insert topper thing up as a technique sheet, and don't make me do it right away, guys, because I kind of got a lot of things going on right now, but I will try to get it written up soon, and then I will post it on the Create with Marshall page, because that'll just give you some hints as to how to do things. And just about everything I paint anymore ends up being a technique sheet, just because somebody comes along and says, well, I don't know how you did that. I don't know what you did. Okay, so that's what I do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't bore you at any point. I hope it was better at seeing it. I do know that there's been some people make the remarks to me that it is very small. The picture is small, but when you get onto this and it's posted on the page, if you get in there and get into the picture and hit your get in the middle of it and hit it, it will break it. It will bring it up higher. It'll bring it up bigger, guys. I was really surprised one day when I hit it one too many times and I was really big. So if I would video it big and then you guys tried to make it big, it would probably be distorted. But just play with your computer a little bit and see about when you're watching the videos, if you can make them bigger. I hope this was a better video tonight. I have a video I'm going to do next week, or we're going to do live. We're going to do brush strokes. I may have to do a little bit about my lighting because I seem like I'm a little dark tonight, but that's another project for me to work on. So I want to thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or anything that you need to know, just make comments on the page after you've watched the video, and I'll see what I can do to help you. So everybody stay safe, stay well. See you next week. Thanks. Bye.